we keep the preposition à, and like I said, we stick something after it. So, il tient beaucoup à elle. So I'll remind you again, when it's a thing with à, you can use I. Yeah? When it's a person, you keep the à and you use moi, toi, nous, vous, lui, eux, whatever's going on afterwards, right? Next one. Nous n'avons pas oublié nos anciens copains. We haven't forgotten our old friends, our former friends. Quand nous nous voyons, when we see each other, nous parlons de nos anciens copains. We speak about our old friends. We're not going to say that logically, saying the word old friends again. We're going to say we speak about them. So, nous parlons, we speak about them. What's the preposition being used for about here? De. Don't be confused. De can mean about, can mean of, can mean from. So in other words, when we're playing with a de, we know our rule, ABC or otherwise. De, when we're dealing with a thing, to make a shortcut, turns into on in the middle of the sentence. When we're talking about a person, we keep the preposition de in place and we stick a good strong pronoun afterwards. De moi, de toi, de nous, de vous, de lui, de, D apostrophe EUX, etc. So we speak about them, nous parlons de. Yeah? There's no other possibility for that, all right? Next one. We haven't forgotten our old... we haven't forgotten the good memories spent together, the good moments spent together. When we see each other, we speak of these good moments, these good times. So the fact is, we speak of them, which is what it wants us to do. Yeah, we speak of them. Yeah. When we say we speak of them now, are we talking about a person or are we talking about a thing? We're talking about a thing. What categorically do I keep saying you use when you want to get rid of the proper word and you want to make it, turn it into a, we speak of them, a shortcut, when you're using de, whether you're using de as a, whether you're using an ABC verb or not, de, talking about a thing will become en. And we get rid of the word de. So when we see them, we talk about them. Nous en parlons. It's still a pronoun. It's still going to go before the verb. You know the rules, bits before verbs, except before an infinitive. All right? So, for example, we are going to speak of them. Nous allons en parler. Okay? Number 7. Is there a 7? Oh, no, we're on to another one. Right. So, corriger les répétitions en remplaçant le nom répété par un pronom personnel. Correct the repetitions, replacing the repeated noun with a personal pronoun. So, le directeur accueillera les nouveaux élèves. Il fera un discours aux nouveaux élèves. My lips are getting dry because I've just had a load of coffee and nothing to drink. 1 second. Recently I did a video talking about how people can treat me to a coffee if they're finding the videos useful, and I will pop the link underneath that. That isn't because I've been drinking too much coffee, just haven't been drinking enough water. Pardon me. Not very gentlemanly, but off we go. So, le directeur accueillera les nouveaux élèves. Il fera un discours aux nouveaux élèves. So, the director, in this case the principal, the headmaster, will welcome. Notice that's the verb to welcome in the future. Accueillir, IR, is the verb to welcome. Yeah, they welcomed us. Ils nous ont accueillis, or ils nous ont accueillis. Accueillera, bit of a weird spelling, is the future, so, you know, the director will welcome. That doesn't mean that when you say bienvenue, welcome, that you're wrong. That's just something you would say in that situation. The verb to welcome is accueillir. Accueillir often bothers people, the spelling, the pronunciation. So he will do, or he will make a speech to the new students. So it obviously wants you to replace the new students. That's what the sentence wants. So in other words, he will make a speech to them. Okay? So, what's the preposition in that sentence? Il fera un discours aux. Aux is short for what? À and les. So we are in a situation where we have an a, okay? We're not in an ABC verb. Are we using a and then a them meaning a thing? No, that would be safe. We could use e. We're using a where we've got a person. When we're using a verb and we've got an a possibility and we're dealing with a person coming after it, we have the choice. I don't mean we can choose freely. I mean it will be one or the other of whether we use lui before the verb or whether we use à, moi, à toi, à vous. You know, we use the longer emphatic pronoun method. So in other words, which one do you think this is going to be? Do you think this is going to be il leur, so to them, il leur fera un discours? Or do you think it will be il fera un discours au nous, il fera un discours à eux? It's actually going to be il leur fera. And one of the ways you can kind of work out which one it's going to be is if you've got another noun coming in the sentence. So for example, il leur fera un discours. He'll do a speech for them. He will do a speech for them. If there's another noun coming in the sentence, you tend to, not every time, but you tend to see that it will go the lui and leur option, not the our option. All right? Number 2. L'oncle d'Amérique écrivait tous les mois une lettre à ses neveux. The uncle from America. It's just more commonly heard to say l'oncle des États-Unis, if I'm really honest. Écrivait tous les mois une lettre à ses neveux. So the uncle from America used to write. Can you see that's the imperfect? Or was writing, but in this case used to write. Every month a letter to his nephews. Now that you could make pronouns. You could say he used to write one to them. You could make that into pronouns. That's not the exercise. Il leur en écrivait. I mean, that's a pronoun exercise. Car il pensait beaucoup à ses neveux, because he used to think a lot about his nephews. Notice the word for about with think, if they're just passing in your mind, is penser à. We can see that from il pensait beaucoup à. Think about can also be penser de if you're asking someone their opinion. What do you think about this situation? Qu'est-ce que tu penses de? All right, but this is different. Penser à when someone pops into your mind. Yeah, I'm thinking of you. Je pense à toi. So, in other words, we are in a situation where we've got an a with a person. So we have that choice again of whether we're going to use lui or leur to represent the to them, or whether we're going to use the a. In this situation, he thought about them. There's nothing else coming up next. It's not he thought about them, the speech, he thought about them, the groceries. So more often than not, you're going to see a and then the pronoun on the end. So for example, he was thinking about them. Il pensait à eux. By all means, Google, type in il leur pensait, il pensait à eux. You are going to see one of them will exist all over the place, or type it into Lingui, linguee.fr. You'll see one version. You can't always do this with pronouns. So for example, if you weren't sure to say I allow him or I allow to him in French, je lui permets or je le permets, if you typed in je le permets into French, you're going to see that. That exists in French. It just means I allow it. Yeah, the thing I'm allowing. I allow him. So what I'm saying, some verbs you will never see a version of it, and other verbs you will see, you will see a version of it. So you've got to be careful how you're checking this. So in other words, number 2, car il pensait beaucoup à eux, to them. Yeah. Number 3, les clients ont acheté tous les vêtements en solde qui ont beaucoup plu aux clients. The clients bought all the clothes in the sale, which pleased the clients a lot. Plu is the past tense of the verb plaire, to please. This is a verb you know really well. How do you say please? S'il te plaît. How do you say please? S'il vous plaît. You know the verb plaire. Okay? The past tense of which is plu. That is also the past tense of the verb to rain, but never mind. So, in other words, look at that sentence. Qui ont beaucoup plu. Don't be bothered by the beaucoup. Qui ont beaucoup plu aux clients. So, in other words, if the verb is plaire, what comes after plaire? Plaire à quelqu'un. To please somebody's plaire à.